Mumbai University Startup Incubator as a Chief Executive Officer. He is an engineer and holds an MBA degree in finance. He has corporate as well as entrepreneurial experiences. He founded a tech startup right after completing his engineering. Before joining MU Ideas, he was working with National Stock Exchange as a risk management officer, which was the largest stock exchange of India. Now, I would like Mr. Dr. Harish Kulekar sir to come on dais and felicitate our speaker.
That's okay, you can okay. I will take this conflict with this. Yeah. So you can use both the mics. Hello. So, good afternoon. How long have you been waiting? What have you been doing in that long? Any? It's okay. From our side, there was a small miscommunication. What have you been doing, or how have you invested this money? Chatting, कुछ project का काम किया हो? Any particular language that I need to adhere to? Hindi, English, Marathi. That's one point. Middle row. Everything is okay? Yes. Communication होना चाहिए. English is mandatory. So I am comfortable with all things. Okay. क्या किया एक घंटे में? जो पुराना फाइल लगा. So which one? Flyer. Right? I can be casual, I can be very formal. तो यार चलेगा नहीं तो फिर मैं आप बोल के आपको बुरी करना पसंद करूँगा. Right? जोर से बोलो. जो भी बोल रहा है वो जोर से बोलो. मैं तो इंटरेस्टिंग देखना ये सेशन. So we did assignment. Okay. Good. Creative. Anything else? बीच में कुछ भी नहीं किया. कुछ मूवी के बारे में बात किया, कुछ स्टार्टअप के बारे में बात किया. Okay, someone need to explain what is Kalyan. I will kick it off as an internal matter. Right side, please. Hello. Pick up. Hello. Why are you so? Someone joining you? Yeah. Any conversation? If you can, please come forward. Have you already? इतना भी सुंदर नहीं तो घोड़ों के नहीं देखो. एक ही छह देख रहे हैं. Okay. So this is the third day I think of this talk. Yes, sir. मुझे खाली brief करो. मैं नहीं था इसका. पहले सेशन में क्या हुआ? So session में we had Mr. Sagar Shah. Who is speaking? Yes. So आपको organization में ना attendance में तो मुझे आना. यही कहना है ना कि तीनों दिन अलग-अलग थे. Oh. How so? जो common थे वो बाकी दोनों. So this will be a valuable exercise. बाकी जो नहीं थे उनको भी बताएं. भी कुछ करना नहीं, मैं कैजुअल करता हूँ क्योंकि बच्चों के साथ मैं कैजुअल ही रहता हूँ। एक दो लाइन में बता सकते तो भी मैं समझ जाऊंगी कि क्या सीखा है। अनिरुद्ध डे उन्होंने क्या बताया? सारे चैनल ये जो है उन्होंने क्या बताया? सीवा एक्स मैनेजर इंक्यूबेशन मैनेजर कुछ किसी ने सुना उन्होंने जो भी बताया? रिकॉर्डिंग इसके बाद करते हैं। Achieving problem solution fit and product market fit workshop on innovation design. इसको बता देगा? कौन सा नंबर है ये? Okay, as I was introduced, I am heading startup incubator of the University of Mumbai. It's a deep tech startup incubator, wherein we explore and we nurture ideas all the way till the industry. Right? So it's a journey. If you have an idea, how to turn that idea into a business. Very meticulous journey that you have to plan. It involves mentorship, it involves access to the network, it involves access to the infrastructure of the government and industry. It's not just as the contributor, it's just money. No. Ideas can hardly be commercialized with just money. Right? Money is always off the right? So this is the role of the incubation center. I hope everybody is aware about the incubator, but in your terms, it's a bio incubator. And here, it is a business incubator. Business incubator nurtures, so bio incubator की बात एक newborn baby या फिर जो भी आपके slides रहेंगे वो रहेंगे. Incubator में we are here to nurture that idea as a seed to grow it into a plant. Right? First slide. So I would like to briefly give a review or understand from you where does this entrepreneurship journey start? Input from audience. ये जो स्टार्टअप है वो कहाँ से चालू होता है? Idea one, problem very close. Right? So someone said problem. You have to have an observation to identify a problem. Right? Idea किसका आएगा? मतलब आपको idea है, मतलब idea आने के लिए that's a solution. Right? Idea is always linked with the problem which solves that problem to become a tentative potential idea. Right? So here is something that the innovation journey started. I will use. So journey of an entrepreneur always starts with an observation. If you can develop this ability in your career, whether entrepreneurship career or employee, you will go very far. Observe what is happening. Observe what is happening. Observe the gaps. Observe the inefficiencies, so that you, if you solve them, if you address them by your own talent, right, then you might have a probable solution to that problem. And your market size will be as big as the problem, right? The closest example is OXC. Imagine the market size of that problem. You had access, you had a potential market of 7 billion people. So 7 billion vaccines into the margin would be your revenue or profit. That is an extreme example. Not every business can touch upon 7 billion. Even the Facebook cannot touch 7 billion people. It's hardly 2 or 3 billion. But still, it's the largest market. Right? So observation comes first. Then you observe, and with your skill set, you are learning pharmacy. Somebody is learning mechanical engineering. So with your skills, interdisciplinary skills, you arrive at a probable solution to solve that problem. In an effort to give value to the system to solve that problem for you. So most of the times आप quote पढ़े रहोगे कि entrepreneurship is a very perseverance. तो perseverance जब भी आता है जब भी आपको प्रॉब्लम एक निजी रहता है, खुद का प्रॉब्लम अगर सॉल्व हो, If someone in your family is suffering from some disease, तो pharmacy है तो थोड़ा सा pharmacy के बारे में पता है. तो it is a personal attachment to you. आप दूसरों के लिए छोड़ो, आप खुद के फैमिली के लिए फाइट देते हो कि मुझे ये सॉल्व करना है, भले किसी के और के लिए ना, right? It can be a very small issue, it can be a very because you are see two things are happening when you yourself are affected by that problem. You are closely observing that problem because it's part of your family and you want to solve that problem. Both are intertwined. So that's how you persevere from that. Because बाकी मार्केट हो ना हो वो आप सोचते नहीं हो. कमर्शियलाइजेशन आप पहले सोचते नहीं हो, इन्वेस्टमेंट लाना है वो पहले सोचते नहीं. आपको खाली जो आपके फैमिली मेंबर उससे गुजर रहे हैं उनका प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करो, राइट? सो perseverance happens only when you have that close attachment with that person. बहुत सारे लोग एनजीओ में काम करते हैं, उनको थोड़ा थोड़ा गिव बैक टू द सोसाइटी, या फिर there might be instances where they are very closely attached to that problem, maybe from the family, maybe from the network, maybe village में हो या फिर उनके ancestors हो, उनका उससे अटैचमेंट. तो आइडिया आता है, आपने कुछ ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करते हो, उसके बाद वैलिडेशन भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. वो प्रॉब्लम एटलीस्ट सॉल्व हो रहा है, कैसे सॉल्व करना है. आप आइडिएशन स्टेज में ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करते हो, आपके फ्रेंड्स, आपके फैकल्टी, उनकी राय लेते हो, उनके इनपुट्स लेते हो, so that what you have limited resource, you have limited research, you have limited knowledge, but एक wholesome tentative solution बनाने के लिए आपको technical expertise भी जरूरी है. It can be a very simple idea, it can be a very complicated idea. So when you have that collaborative exercise of brainstorming of ideation, you need to validate that with the third party. अब खुद को अपना आइडिया हमेशा राइट लगता है. It cannot be one way because ultimately it has to go to the market. So it has to be vetted by third party. आप फार्मेसी की जो भी दवाई है वो कोई ना कोई वेट करता है. There are different regulatory bodies. FDA है, अपने AM standards रहेंगे, right? So those are validation. So उनके बिना आप तो commercialize कर नहीं पाओगे, right? If you have developed a drug or molecule, right? For that molecule to commercialize, you have to adhere with all the laws and regulations of that land. So to understand and to avoid wasting efforts on something that would ultimately block your commercialization journey, you should get the validation before, right? So बहुत सारे लोग ये steps ये लेने आगे चलते रहते हैं. Most of the college students, they don't have that journey path ahead of them. बहुत सारे beauty products आते हैं, बहुत सारे मलम्स, ointments वगैरह बनाते हैं, but वो प्रोजेक्ट लेवल पे सीमित मत रखिए. उसके आगे का भी अगर कमर्शियलाइजेशन कर पाते हो तो वो एक वैल्यूएबल एक्सरसाइज होगा ड्यूरिंग योर कॉलेज ईयर्स, राइट? So validation from the faculty first, because those are close resources that you have. Plus, if you connect with their network or the incubation center across your area, they will give you a compliance roadmap as well. It's part of incubator mentoring towards the startup. So validation gives you which path to follow for the commercialization, right? And this will also give you whether this will work or not. There are any alternatives which are way more efficient than you. So you can directly adopt that, or you can understand how that works, what are the pros and cons of that, and solve on the cons. So improve your product or the service that you are doing. Then comes, once you have received the validation, comes your startup registration. Rest of the things can stop, right? Before you go into next step, why the startup registration is required? Because your commercial ultimate goal of a startup takes place after your startup registration. Right? You are an individual or you are a team. You don't have a legal entity. You cannot alone raise a capital officially. So there are different ways wherein the investors give out money to startups. So that foundation of a startup has to be very clear. It has to be a legal entity. It has to be a trustworthy, and that gives you a lot of benefit in terms of IPR grants, in terms of your quality testing grants, up to 10 lakhs Maharashtra government is giving via the incubators. IP में आपको up to 80% subsidy मिलती है, but this will not be given on personal account. It has to be a startup to attract that, right? तो जो भी consultations है, जो भी lawyer advisory है IPR के लिए या फिर quality testing के लिए, that is all is related, provided you are registered. Then you can go with the IPR and group, right? Because your innovation has to be protected so that nobody else can copy it and use it against. If you have developed something and disclose everything, the formula of your formulation, right? It's easy for anyone else to go and patent. And then even if it is your formula, nobody, you cannot use it. They have a right to restrict your activity. All clear so far? Third row is different channel over there. Middle row? Any confusing item that you have not understood? Good. Once you have that protection by law, IPR protection, you can venture into the feedback. This is where you can interact with the corporate, you can interact with the other faculties, because you are sure that your formulation at least have a it's hardly a 1 month long course, right? This feedback and iteration is important because you expose your product to the potential customers and advertisers. Right. If it's a licensing deal, you will have to come up with a corporate company which is into drugs, probably, right? And when you have a patent, you can openly discuss this formulation or the nitty-gritties of that solution with them, so that there is low risk of stealing your innovative idea and higher chances of commercializing or taking that product forward. So feedback and iteration also gives you any real world checks. So अगर वो बोले कि ये feature या this is not needed or this additional feature is needed, then you can iterate and then again propose that same solution to the potential. Once you have that validation, once you have that feedback, it's a ready to go to market product. You can approach funding agency. So all over Shark Tank देखा रहेगा right? How many of you have been watching Shark Tank season 1, 2? Season 2, जिन्होंने 1 में किया हो, okay. Last row. तो उसमें बहुत बार आप लोगों को पता रहेगा कि एंजल इन्वेस्टिंग मिला है, फैमिली से मिला है, वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट से रेस किया है, कैपिटल है, जिन्होंने कुछ भी नहीं किया है वो भी आते हैं, तो उनके लिए वही एंजल इन्वेस्टर. So that kind of funding avenues are open. At this stage, you are more likely to get funding after the validation is done, after you have patents, because it's not just an idea. There is a fraction to your business. You have done a lot of things in a systematic way, so that the investors have trust with your processes that you have adopted, and you have a high chance of success based on your. If you go to the investor just on first and second step, 100% of that you will not get funded. Then you have to prove your money, and this is the simplest form or the process to follow to get that funding. This journey is not a very 1 or 2 day journey. You have to invest a lot of your time, your team's time to arrive at this stage. And once you launch, then the last process can keep on happening. The second part of this slide. The iterations will keep on. You will have to continuously innovate. You will have to explore the market so that your alternatives are not catching up to you. Your market share is not reduced. You have to come up with a new products which you would ultimately get to know because you will be continuously observing the market that you are, right? So this is a short journey of entrepreneur. We will move to the core topic. Any doubts? We can take it now or yes.
Yes. This is the simplest and the best slide that I have seen till date for the journey of the entrepreneur. Because you have do some patenting at the idea stage itself.
No.
Because we cannot patent idea, that is what is for sure. But is there a way out for it? Maybe patenting is done somewhere earlier.
So there is a way. See, this patenting and this startup formation has certain cost amounting to it. If you go to market, it will run to 50%. If you come to the professional incubation center, they will reduce it by 90%. Let's say 5,000. You can get the information done, you can get the schemes available. If you do it alone without support or without the ecosystem, startup registration and IPR, international IPR, alone will run it to you 2.5 lakhs. But with the incubation, the whole cost can be wrapped up to 15,000. And this is helpful for the faculty as well. And one of the major advantage of startup formation and then patenting is startup have a different queue for patenting process. Otherwise, it would take around 1 to 3 years for patent to be granted. But under the new scheme of Startup India, startups have a priority for all the patents because and within a year you get your patent granted, not just published. And coming to your question, at idea stage, it doesn't make sense to patent it. You can restrict or be very discreet about your idea. You can focus on the end objectives. Okay, this formulation without disclosing the formula, you can say that this formulation will ultimately help to cure certain cells in the body. And this has, without the percentage, this has this ingredient. Because the presentation, the jury has to know what is it made of. Is it just a fluke or is it carefully researched ingredients that you are using? You can hide or not disclose rather the process or the percentage of that material. You say ABC, the percentage matters because the ultimate product will depend on the percentage of ABC independently, right? So that's one way. But most of the innovators, most of the students, faculty think that if I disclose it at this level, then somebody else will see. Now the Indian startup ecosystem has matured so much that it doesn't just value ideas. It values the efforts put behind the idea or diagnosis. If you are associated with that and if you think that this idea would ultimately go somewhere, it could create an impact and it will create a different valuation into the market, then you are the only one to execute all these steps. Nobody has the free time or the passion to execute all these steps.
So the advice would be to first move on incubation.
Yes.
If it is not startup registration.
Right.
And go for IPR, the prototyping and IPR.
Right.
And then with the rest.
Yes. So validity or the IPR feasibility is also whether it can be better. Right. So incubation will help you to understand that it is called pre-incubation, not formally incubation happens after startup is registered. But pre-incubation idea validation camps, most of the incubation center organize. That's where you can vet your ideas, and those are very concrete. Those screen through ideas day in day out. So it's not that they are waiting there for your idea to adopt and work on that idea and give it to something. That's not the case. Right? Those who execute on their ideas, those ideas are the only value. Otherwise, it's just a piece of paper or thought. Nobody can value that. That's why first, second step, you cannot raise anything. It's highly unlikely that what you have conceptualized as in your head is same thing that other person can envision. The effort is another ballgame also. Right? Hope that answered your question. Next slide. Coming to our main topic, problem solving and ideation. What is problem solving?
Identifying the problem and getting solution.
identifying the problem and giving solution. Are you a student or पढ़ाई करके आए थे?
हम लोग खुद का भी स्टार्टअप है
Good. Round of applause for a startup guy. Yes, sir.
सर अर्ली वेदर अलर्ट्स का
Good. We will discuss that. So, see, this is another trait when you get into an incubation ecosystem, right? Or think about forming an enterprise. She is also here. Krishna is also working on something. Regardless whether or not you will succeed in the startup, you have developed that attitude of problem solving, and which is helpful in your personal as well as professional life. कुछ भी नहीं समझा तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग सीखो आप करियर में आगे बढ़ोगे whether it's a startups whether it's a business whether it's a enterprise और it depends right अगर आपका आइडिया सैटेलाइट लॉन्च करने का है then you cannot have a startup like Elon आपको लैंड रॉकेट्स वगैरह तो खरीद नहीं सकते but you have a very good opportunity to be an entrepreneur within an organization you can be a head of that one vertical within that organization इसमें जा सकते so it depends on what sector that you're working. If it's a small IT idea, then you can start with it because resources required capital expenditure is bigger. So problem solving. Very simply, I will just cover it within a minute. 5 stages of problem solving. Definition of a problem. Right? Very critical because without this, whatever you build upon. Definition of problem. This will be a foundation of your solution. How minutely you observe or define your problem is very critical. This will give you a very fast path of arriving at a solution because you would understand the nitty-gritties, the stakeholders involved in this process itself. Ideally, the solution again we covered partly in the previous slide. It can be a solution interdisciplinary or a single disciplinary. It can be multiple solution across your team members brainstorming जो भी आएंगे आइडिया उसमें से एक आप select करोगे बाद में you will stick or commit yourself with that solution and execute the whole course of action. Right? Then implementing that solution, working on implementation, strategizing how to implement and then implementing and then result analysis. वो idea that particular idea that has come into your brainstorming session, whether it is working or not. If it's not working, then move to the next. Right? So you can select up to 5 ideas from your brainstorming session where you think that this is a high chance of probability of success and execute all the ideas. So 5 stages of problem solving, very simple. Coming to ideation. Ideation and problem solving goes hand in hand. It cannot be a separated from right? Ideation is a simple creative process of generating, developing, and communicating ideas. Now, it's not important that every idea has to be very new, very creative, very innovative. It can be a very simple idea that nobody has thought about, or it has come into effect right now. Maybe the technology is now just developed. A very good example is your UPI. QR code payments, ATM. 10 years back,
I wanted to ask how to identify if the idea is worth working on it before going to the incubator center. At personal level, that idea is worth it.
you see, you can discuss with your friends or you yourself can reflect whether it's working. You can try it. For example, what is your idea? You have something in mind that you would like to buy. Do you have something that we can work on or take a live example? So there is a very fine line when you think of whether this will work or not. And the thing that is holding you back is fear of it. Just try it. Unless that idea is okay, मुझे rocket बना के वो उड़ाना है, that don't try that idea. But take a miniature version of that same prototype. Create a prototype with the small funds that you can gather and try it in the lab stage. We will come to that in the next slide. But this confusion most of the people have, and entrepreneur inherently is a risk taker because he cannot sit on a problem and just observe the problem happening in front of him. He is irritated. Okay, why is this happening? Let me try something. That try will give you push. Maybe you will fail in one idea. You will learn from that failure and then again implement the learnings into the next version of you. Until unless you try, you will know, or you will rather not know what is. Right? So there are many types of ideation. We will just quickly cover it because we have time limitation. Shall we have an exercise, or I can discuss it verbally because I don't think everybody is studying paper or workshop. Okay, we can do it verbally. First is crazy. It's kind of a warm-up exercise to remove your mental blocks of ideation, right? जब writer's block रहता है ना, तो ideation blocks भी रहते हैं कि अभी idea ही करना है तो क्या करना है. This will help you to fastly write down your ideas, iterate on those ideas, and it is a time limit. So it is not designed for an in-detail approach or in-detail solution, but it will give you a pipeline of ideas to go into detail in the book, right? जो हम pipeline बना रहे हैं 10-15 ideas है उसमें से किसमें what करना है. The process is simple. You create 8 boxes. You get 1 minute to write your idea or your thinking in one box. After 1 minute, you move on to the next. You don't spend too much time on that particular ideation or that particular approach. You write down the next, at the end of 8 minutes, you have 8 different ideas on your paper. Right? You can use your A4 size paper, fold it size symmetrically, and you have 8 boxes. So, with your team, you have 4 people. How many boxes does each paper have? Third person in the second. क्या बोल रहा है? How many boxes does each paper have? Right? So 8 boxes. Okay. Where there is many ideas here, so not everybody can be a startup founder. I cannot force you to be a startup founder. रिस्क टेकर एक अलग तरीके होते हैं. स्टार्टअप फाउंडर एक रिस्क टेकर रहते हैं, बाकी के रिस्क टेकर करियर से रिस्क लेते हैं. पढ़ाई नहीं करते, जो होगा वो रिटायर होगा. Right? Every axis has positive and negative. If you are really committed or if you are really interested in the startup or ideation or developing your personal development, I would not feel bad if you are not. Crazy. Do you want me to repeat? Do you want me to repeat? Please come on. थोड़ा सा चेन ब्रेक कर दे, कम्युनिकेशन बहुत ही बड़ा है. ओके, एक आइडिएशन टेक्निक है जिसमें आपका आइडिएशन ब्लॉक रिड्यूस होता है. अगर आपको बोला कि ट्रैफिक का प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना है, तो आपके पास क्या क्या जरिए हो सकते हैं. सेकंड ईयर काम आपका जो भी आपने सीखा है, आपकी सिंपल एग्जांपल, चलो ड्रग डिलीवरी का प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना. व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट वेज ऑफ डिलीवर अ ड्रग इनटू ह्यूमन. ये जो ब्लॉक है आप सोच रहे हो, तो वो ब्लॉक निकालने के लिए आपको एक आइडिया लगेगा, सेट ऑफ आइडियाज. तो आपके मन में जो भी आ रहा है वो 8 बॉक्स में आप एक मिनट के इंटरवल उसमें से सब आइडियाज प्रैक्टिकल नहीं रहेंगे, बट इट विल एटलीस्ट गियर अप अ मोमेंटम इन योर माइंड टू जनरेट नेक्स्ट. राइट? जितने भी अगर 4 के आगे नहीं बढ़ रहे हो तो यू कैन वर्क ऑन 2 डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम्स ऑन द सेम शीट. 4 एक प्रॉब्लम के आगे और 4 दूसरे प्रॉब्लम के पास. The next is quick idea. Again, a very fast method. Here you are focusing on quantity over quality. These are quickly ideation methods wherein you have interaction, you have a decorum within your team session, workshops, right? कि ये problem पे हम लोग discuss कर रहे हैं, कुछ भी बोलो. It can be rubbish, it can be very valuable. The goal is to collect a set of ideas so that you can later together work on those independently. तो उससे focus करके जब भी plan बनता है, आप 4-5 destination select करते हो. चलो इधर जाते हैं, north में जाते हैं, south west, east में जाते हैं. तो 10-15 एक destinations curate करते हो, right? Based on your experience, क्योंकि आपने family के बारे में family के एरिया के उधर का inputs आए रहेंगे, ये अच्छा है, केरला अच्छा है, दार्जिलिंग अच्छा है, नॉर्थ में दिल्ली अच्छा है. So similarly, what you do is you note down all the destinations. बाद में आप budget देखते हो, बाद में आप feasibility देखते हो कि next month में vacations कभी है, तभी आप वो execute करते हो. Similar philosophy is here. You get a lot of destinations, the iterations of your idea, so that you can finalize them later. पहले discussion के लिए कुछ तो चाहिए. ये तो ऐसे जाना है कि कुछ आगे नहीं बढ़ता. इधर जाना है, क्या कौन से डेस्टिनेशन जाने के लिए क्या रूट अवेलेबल है, उधर तो सब कुछ ठीक है कि नहीं, गर्मी है, ठंडी है, बारिश है, प्रॉब्लम है कि नहीं, दैट विल बी अ वैलिडेशन, राइट. लास्ट टू ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग. Everybody has heard about it. It's a exercise that you and a very good group activities. You take inputs from each member, right? From your team. If you have a team of 10, everyone speaks about a particular aspect. So the thing is, this turns into a word fight. If some team member within that team is introvert, he is not channelized properly. He gets separate from the extrovert. अगर कोई चिल्ला के बात कर रहा है तो उसके सामने वो आइडिया नहीं पिक करता है. Right. That is the drawback of brainstorming, which is solved in round robin, wherein everybody writes their idea on a piece of paper. After your writing, it is circulated to the next team, so that their ideas are noted, and the next team member also, when he reads that idea, he is aware about what the other team member is saying. At least he will give it a thought, and whether it can be put forward or not, it can be discussed mutually. Right. So that's about the 4 process of brainstorming. Any questions on that? Otherwise, we'll move to the TRD. Any question? मोबाइल में Classroom. Any question? वो कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे. Shall we move forward? Technology readiness level. Has anyone heard about it? Who? How? In which is it part of syllabus? कौन से सिनारियो में पढ़ा रहेगा?
It used to estimate the quality of technology.
Perfect. Perfect. Anybody else has read about this? Someone is way ahead. So, as you rightly said, it's a tool to measure the maturity level of a technology. Right? कोई भी आपका innovation है. Suppose आप drug delivery by robotic things पे innovate कर रहे हो, right? तो उसका एक technology map रहता है. आपने स्टार्टिंग में आइडिएशन रिसर्च किया, आपने पेपर्स देखे, तो TRL 1 we will go through the stages quickly in the next slide. आपने प्रोटोटाइप बनाया है, उसका एक लेवल रखा. So if let's say you are a student of undergraduate, how many semester do you have? 8. So it's closely it's a scale of 1 to 9 for technology rating level. When as a recruiter I want to assess the students as a whole, I would ask कौन से semester में पढ़ते हो. When they say semester 1, okay, it's too new for me. They would not know pharmacy का बहुत सारा concept. But when the professor says it's semester 7, I would know you have completed almost 80-90% of your course and we can come for the interview. So technology readiness level gives you a measurement or the maturity of your technology journey, right? Whether it's an idea level, whether it's a validation level, whether it's a compliance level पे आता है, whether it's a go to market ready, whether it's a patent वगैरह pending है. So from the investor point of view, to start the discussion on investing, I would first ask what is your TR. As an incubator as well, I would first ask कौन से लेवल पे. तो आइडिएशन लेवल पे अगर आप आ रहे हो, then I know how much resources that I would need to put into your innovation for you to commercialize. Rather आप अगर 9th लेवल पे, जो कि हाईएस्ट लेवल है, मार्केट में जाने के लिए रेडी है या फिर ऑलरेडी गया है, then I know that all the ideation exercises or all the networking mentoring is not needed. You have already matured. Now what my help would be to access to the networks, whether in the corporates or industry can come in and take your license, or you can work together by some royalty arrangements. Right? So this is very important when you are into a startup game or especially in the pharmacy or medical field. TRL, as you would know, it was developed by NASA to understand their own internal system, to when they are procuring or when they are licensing other products to or whether in their project timelines they would say that this project has reached TRL 1, 2, 3 technology ready. The name itself justifies the meaning. Universities along with the government funding resources focus on TRL 1 to 4 from ideation to some prototype level, and while the private sector focuses on 7, 8, 9. So maturity slide, right? Again, if you go to the first slide, your funding comes at a later stage. When validation is complete, IPR is complete, you have a feedback, iterations are done, then funding. So private sector will always want to commercialize as soon as possible because their resources are valuable. They are paying their R&D teams crores and crores rupees every year. They want to have that ROI. Right? If you're working on paracetamol back in the days, they would want that formulation as early as possible so that they can mass produce and go to market. Otherwise, it's a cost center of any company. The R&D department is a cost center for it. It is only beneficial if they come up with a product or innovation which can be commercialized, and the safest way is to bet on the technologies or innovations which lie on this band of 7, 8, 9. Right? It's the frequent or it's a benefit of why TRs are important. It is used as a tool to make decisions concerning technology funding, right? And useful in making decisions concerning transition of technology. तो अगर टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर भी कर रहे हैं या फिर आपके existing technology में fuse कर रहे हैं, then it would give a very good measurement whether the startup has developed something valuable which can be fused with it. So first 3 levels, it can be a basic principle observed. इसने ideation level पे काम किया है, right? It's a research technology concept formulated एक conceptual level पे आए हो, topic identification करके एक solution brainstorm किया हो, and experimental proof of concept, right? एक prototype अगर बना रहे हो या फिर एक lab level का कुछ pre setup to a prototype कर रहे हो, then it is CRL 1, 2 and 3. 4, 5, 6 में आपका concept एक lab level पे validation होता है, small formulation. can be a 100 ml as well, if it's on, right? Technology validity relevant है lab scale पे अगर actual environment में relevant actual environment में incubators के निकाल के थोड़े से realistic environment लाते हो तो TRL 5 होता है and technology demonstration relevant है ठीक full fledgedly वो lab level का prototype आप real world में लेके आ सकते हैं. Then comes TRL 7 system prototype design demonstration operational environment. आप धूप में निकाल सकते हो अगर SPF कलर प्रिंट बना रहे हो, राइट? उसका इंटेंसिटी चेक करने के लिए. This is complete and qualified. Here is where the compliance part comes, right? Whether the product is working in real world and whether it is compliant with all the regulations, right? अगर आपने सनस्क्रीन बनाया है, उसका SPF टेस्ट कर लो, and अगर वो सनस्क्रीन टॉक्सिक ही निकला तो मतलब नहीं. Right? It has to go through a several checks of toxicity. It has to go with the several checks of environment. Right? It has to go with the FDA regulations and compliances. अगर कोई instrument है ऑपरेशन का तो फैक्टर वगैरह टेस्टिंग करना होता है तो that this is the but to start with you don't have to worry about the TRL yet, but you have to know that document ultimately this will come. Right? तो अगर आपको पता है कोई कंपोनेंट जो यूज कर रहे हो रॉ मटेरियल के अगर वो टॉक्सिक है ही ये कि कुछ कंपोनेंट्स है जो टॉक्सिसिटी में आती है नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी इज नॉट अलाउड इन द मेडिसिन्स और द सर्विसेज disinfectant. If you are using that as a raw material then ultimately you can check that okay ये यूज करके तो commercialize हो गए or rather not use that material. So reviewing this and then starting from there will help you to reduce the time and the efforts that you put in and creatively after journey faster. अगर नहीं तो अगर फिर से you can and then here now is actual system proven in operation. So this is like you have completely developed your product. It is compliant with the laws of the land. It is working in the real world environment. And now, as a technologist, your work for this phase stops. अभी इसके बाद क्या करें? एग्जांपल के तौर पे SPF क्रीम बनाया आपने सब कंप्लायंस से हो गया फॉर्मुलेशन भी हो गया आपको FDA के सब लाइसेंसेस आ गए टॉक्सिसिटी के लाइसेंसेस आ गए उसके बाद क्या आपने ये चालू क्यों किया था कैसा और इसके बाद कमर्शियलाइजेशन करने के लिए चालू किया था मार्केटिंग पार्ट ऑफ कमर्शियलाइजेशन पैसा बनाना मतलब फंडिंग बनाना किसी मार्केट में लॉन्च करके किसी एंड यूजर को पूछना पैसा कमाना तो साइड अगर आपको पैसा कमाने का एक सिंपल फॉर्मूला अगर वैल्यू दे रहे हो तो वैल्यू आएगा बिना कुछ वैल्यू के एक ही बंदा पैसा कमा लो वो बढ़िया वो कुछ वैल्यू नहीं देता है फिर भी उसको पैसा मिलता है every other avenue which you see that people are wealthy they have given 10 times more the value to it. Right? So here as a technologist your work stops but as a CEO or a leader your work starts wherein you go out in the market you sit with the stakeholders, it can be corporate companies, it can be investors, it can be your potential customer, and you start selling yourself and your products. You have to learn those things because either तो आपको आपके control में your stakeholders come, but in order to generate revenue for your innovation, you have to sell that innovation. You have to make other people understand the value that it provides. And that's most of the communication that is happening to the market. Right? how to reach to your dedicated customers. There are different ways, business models, go-to-market strategies. Understanding who is your customer. It can be a B2B, it can be B2C, it can be B2G, government can be a customer, depends. पोलियो के वैक्सीन के लिए कस्टमर कौन है? बच्चे पहले what is the customer, what is the difference between
pregnant women.
pharmacy वालों ना? Even though, so एक क्वेश्चन है, कस्टमर और कंज्यूमर का डिफरेंस है आपके लिए नहीं, बाकी सबके लिए आपको
जो यूज कर रहा है प्रोडक्ट वो कंज्यूमर है, कस्टमर मेरी शॉप और में जैसे हॉस्पिटल इस केस में एग्जांपल है, हॉस्पिटल इज द कस्टमर हियर और कंज्यूमर जो कंज्यूमर
right. So consumer is the one who gets ultimate benefit of your product service. Customer is someone who pays for that service, right? आप जिस इंस्टीट्यूशन में हो उसके कंज्यूमर आप हो, कस्टमर आपके पेरेंट्स है, जैसे पोलियो वैक्सीन में कंज्यूमर इज द किड हु इज न्यूबॉर्न, not inside the womb, and customer is in this case because it's a social activity and it's a matter of national importance, because a nation would not want their future citizens to be with a deformity. It's a call taken by the government to eradicate polio from the country. That's why customer here is government of India. Right? So understanding this nitty-gritty, आपने बनाया है बच्चों के लिए, but most of the time these two are different, customer and consumer. अगर आपने लिपस्टिक बनाया तो customer and consumer एक ही रहता है, most of the time, right? So understanding your market segment, understand who is your customer and who is your consumer, and connecting those two is something that you will have to learn, and that is being carried out with the business modeling strategies. Understanding the persona of your customer is something that you would have to learn. Okay, that's all from my side on these two topics. एक बार आगे बताए तो कमर्शियल हम कैसे करते हैं वो भी आपको बीच में बताई दिया. Anything else that I need to cover, or shall we take open the floor for questions? एक डिस्प्ले वाले सेशन के बाद कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछेगा, जो भी पूछना है इधर ही पूछना है. आप इंट्रोवर्ट रहोगे, मैं तो प्रो इंट्रोवर्ट हूँ, मैं तो ओपन फ्लो देता हूँ at the risk of some people taking disadvantage of that opportunity, but still I want to get the feedback or get the inputs from you. I want you to think. Right? The barriers that you have with most of the faculty, I don't want them to be. This is not a discipline class. This is brainstorming session in the sort. Until and unless you speak up, you clarify your doubts. See, ये लेवल के बाद आपको मार्केट में जाना है, तभी आप इंट्रोवर्ट नहीं हो सकते. While you are in this very nurtured sort of educated in incubator, you develop those skills here only. He is doing with the startup, Krishna is doing with our idea. इसके बात करोगे तो बहुत करते हो. Most pharmacy वाले engineer करते.
Yes, sir.
तभी आप बात नहीं कर पाओगे तो आपको तभी सीखना पड़ेगा. Life will teach you. तो प्रोडक्टिवली अभी सीखो. Right? You know the life of an MD. I have a friend, very close friend. We learn in that now. Introvert दिखता है बाहर, but he's still getting regular award and Pfizer and travels a lot. कभी आपको कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाना पड़ता है, कभी आपको वन टू वन मीटिंग्स करने पड़ती है, मीटिंग शेड्यूल करने के लिए आपको कॉल करने पड़ते हैं। वो थोड़ा डाइवर्स रहता है, पर अभी जब भी आप ये लेवल पे बैरियर ब्रेक करते हो, तभी आपको वो लेवल पे कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता है जब आप मार्केट में, एंड दैट वुड गिव यू अ head start with your colleagues when you show those personality traits in the market. The seniors will give you additional responsibilities based on your skills. And if you can start with the startup, then nothing like it. But ultimately, you will have to go out in the market to sell your product or work for a startup. Any questions? One more chance. Yes. Certainly. Yes, sir.
So we are manufacturing makeup products. Then we will sell it to the shopkeepers and then to the customer. So shopkeepers would be a consumer or a customer.
Question.
So after that, very simple formula. Shopkeeper, there are different strategies how to involve in that. So this is the ideal case of distribution. The shopkeeper is necessary for your product to be in the market, and ultimately you are selling that product to the shopkeeper with a different engagement. Whether after selling you will get money, that's one thing to start with, or you would know that the product is well established. Family has shop mein rehta hai. So whoever that distributor is, he gives that lot of money. He gives a high selling. Earlier, you will have to modify that what works. It cannot be defined now because until and unless you speak with the shopkeeper. See, when you go with a product that you are manufacturing and introduce your product to the shopkeeper, he would not hurt you. वो मैं क्यों रखूं? तो उसका आप बेनिफिट बताओगे, वो कोई बाकी के भी कॉम्पिटिटर्स है, तो वो छोड़ के आपको क्यों? Then you have to give a margin. You will have to give them 300 samples to sell, so that he gets confident that this is selling. Right? And after selling, he can give it, but ultimately he is a customer. Your end customer is your user. Right? He falls into the customer. Those who pays you are users. And this is a supply chain of subgroup customers. The moment your product leaves your factory or the manufacturing hub, everything is for generating revenue and all of this. There are distributors. So again, supply chain type different for product. Distributors, dealers, regional dealers, store owners, and then customers. This gap is reduced by e-commerce. There are no middlemen, but still, somewhere or other, you will have one at least entity which works. It can be either internal or outside. Yes, sir. Sorry?
That was the same.
That was the same.
Question on practical point of view. So the benefit to all the students who are want to have their own startup. One would be how to register a startup, and point number two would be how to register with the incubation center, like for example.
Okay, so the answer is same. So as an incubator, all incubators help you by the idea validation. Registering your startup makes sense only when your idea is ready. Otherwise, you are registering for nothing. Because your idea, if it doesn't hold any value, I'm not saying all the ideas are valuable, but until you reach that valuable idea stage, the incubation center will mentor you in the pre-incubation phase. And once both parties understand what is the problem, crystallizing that problem statement and addressing it via your solution by validating that technical, physical, business feasibility and technical feasibility. So once that stage is reached, we help you with our network of CACS to form your entity startup. Right. And immediately after that, you get benefit of IPR, which is IPR worthy option. So that you will know when the IPR lawyers will knock down, do the knockdown search and all that at the end. So after that, you can start working on the product and getting the feedback, getting the mentorship from the our network or the industry expert. So if you do it alone, right? I have gone through that process. It's very expensive. Since we have that stakeholders who which would like to give back to this ecosystem, and they see that creating more and more innovation within the Indian universities and Indian demographic, they have substantially reduced their cost just to government fees to किसी को skip नहीं करते. So hardly any professional fees are involved, which is the best way to start. Whereas if you run, as I said, to an apply is something that you would need to complete the whole process with the first flight. And doing for the government is only it's around 10,000.
So you can just underline what would be the procedural steps, point number one.
Right.
And second is what would be the cost involved for the benefit of students or
Procedural steps are
very quickly.
so what we do is we have a startup club concept wherein we connect with the lot of education institutes. So there is one single point of contact at the institute, someone like you who is heading the initial activities, right? They have their startup club and a startup club, and all these queries, similar queries or let's say business strategy. So our network is available at your disposal. You just have to relay your needs and your sessions that you need to organize via STOC, single point of contact, and we will help you with that. There is another section where how to incorporate a startup, which kind of company that needs to be formed, whether it has to be proprietorship, whether it has to be LLP or private. We prefer, and most of the startup ecosystem prefers private limited because it's pretty involved and it can be restricted for funding. So that is there how you can reach out to incubation centers. We have online proposal. If you can see on the right corner, there is a startup application form as well. The process is fully digital. Anyone can log into NVIDIA.org and submit the form. Go to the details, simple Google form, and they can submit that. And my team can reach out to you to discuss it further from idea. And once your query is coming in, and we know once the idea is validated, we can recommend that we start the form and start. It would be a calculated business. Yes.
To start a fintech company or fintech startup, what are the key areas of growing it?
I would need to know what kind of fintech that is. I mean, what is the problem that your fintech would be having? What is the problem statement that your fintech would be having?
So basically, actually, I wanted to ask that artificial intelligence and the fintech, how can they both be close?
So, starting from the top has kind of a lot of challenges. Now I don't know why do you want to do this. So the idea or objective see, it's a normal problem. This is a journey that you are doing. Ideation. क्यों करना है अगर समझ में that is only when you know the problem, observe the problem, and then okay, if you think that this problem can be solved with this combined this makes sense, right? अभी AI का हमने टॉपिक करा, कोविड में बहुत सारे लोगों ने AI एक्सेप्ट लगाया तो सबका आपके में निमोनिया डेवलप हो रहा है कि तो it has a lot of learning curve with the AI. तो उसको प्रॉब्लम पता था कि कोविड की वजह से हम निमोनिया डिटेक्ट करने के लिए ऐसा एग्जांपल वो एक्सरे एंड AI कंबाइन किए क्योंकि कोविड का जो सिम्टम्स है वो आइडेंटिफाई करना है. So why is very important in this process? The problem is often why do you want to come? Yes, problem is self-organization because you are direction. Good afternoon. सब जा रहे हो So again, the initial journey will always start with observing the problem, and then the ideas will come, and then you can brainstorm, then you can integrate different technologies to solve that particular problem with your experience. Now, not necessarily you would know about the technology, fintech and AI, but his primary job will to get the resources from his network to at least start working on design. So it can be your engineering friend who is working on computer science and AI. It can be your engineer who knows fintech or financial sector. Right. So this is the team building where a leader would be expected to know, and he would ultimately do it because he wants to solve the problem. Any questions? Yes, please.
So our incubation center important.
See, if you know everything, even the school is not important. Startup ecosystem is a new kind of structure, right? And to navigate through that needs mentoring, needs handholding. Right? There are people who have started, so entrepreneurship is not a new phenomenon. The Tataji, Jayadi, Tataji, and all those country began. Right? It took some time, but they ultimately learn on their own. If you can do it on your own, then nothing means yourself. You can you have the capability to research the market. You have to capability to understand the nitty-gritty. You have the you are well aware of the government schemes that are at your disposal that will benefit you, which will excel or reduce your capital requirement to start. You if you know how to form a company, then your startup is formed. If you don't know and you just know the technology, because ultimate goal is to have the technology and the backup business acumen to commercialize your, you know. So if you ask what necessarily the incubation center does, so central the likewise that is those are the stakeholder of it. Right? Any incubation center is expected what is valuable for the incubation center to generate that to have a network of investors, angels, and entrepreneurs, to have a good academia, the researchers, association with the government entities to source the problem sources from the government, right? So that their innovator or their academicians can work on that via research or the different methodologies to give that solution to the government. So IITs, IIT Bombay, other institutions are involved in this kind of research to solve the problems of the government, right? The mentors that the incubation center, the faculty, or the industry experts, service provider, the CACS that I mentioned, idea advisors, corporate engagement. So corporate may be problem which may have a development. Then they can relate because the benefit here of the for the government and corporate is their R&D cycle is reduced. They can throw open the challenge in the market. A lot of students, usually have 8 lakh students graduating per year. If they can, out of them, 10% can work on that idea. They can just pick and choose what works, right? As opposed to the hiring R&D teams, heads, and deploying the resources that they can. This is a very cheap way, or the cost effective, not the cheap way, cost effective way for the government and corporates to come to the solution that they are. Right? The resources that the Mumbai University Incubation Center is making available for the incubation is the labs that we have in the Telangana around 54 departments. 30 odd labs are there, 36 industry linkages, ecosystem partners, CS, legal advisory, financial advisory, mentoring from the industry academia, office spaces, the incubator space is there. If you want to have a sitting capacity of 10 people, we have the co-working space and the cabinet space. Right? IPR sale, investment network, alumni, and seed funding opportunities. So, yeah, for biotechnology startups, there are schemes from the biotech department where if your idea is very good and you suppose it good, you have a 50 lakh seed fund for progressing on your life. And after you finish up that one and you have that milestone reached, there is additional funding that can be given up to crores to commercialize the solution. So this kind of intel is available because the whole job of the institution is to be aware and to make other stakeholders aware about this. The innovations, fintech is where biotech, nanotechnology that we have, so that those and lab is one thing, the infrastructure, the resources, the professors that work on nanotechnology research, those are also made available. So that applies to all the other segments. So in a sense, that is what the incubation center does. This will benefit you because your focus will be on the innovation that you. It should not be finding of the lab, finding of the. So this is at least gives you a very soft start, not the hard start for you. Yes.
So nowadays, as many incubation centers are there, be it private or government. So which one should we choose according to this? How should we analyze which one is best for us?
So it depends what you require for your innovation. If you need faculty or the resources in deep tech, if आपको mass spectrometer चाहिए, then incubation center should have that. The infrastructure and resources available at that incubation center will differentiate the incubation. Those who have that expertise, those who have the industry linkages, those who have government linkages would be a criteria to judge the incubation center which one to go on.
So according to that, government incubation center is better or private incubation center?
That's a tricky question because it's not the same scale. All the governments and incubators are not at the same scale. All the private incubators are not at the same scale. Right? All the IITs are not in the same scale. All the pharmacy institutes are not. Still, you give a preference into your capital, right? So the same decision factors come in when you select your institute. So same decision factors should come in when you select your institute. Those who have the resources that can be deployed for your one-to-one handling. Right. Last question. इसके बाद मैं भी एक दो क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा आपने अब तक क्या बात की पूरे सेशन में एक दो स्पेसिफिक रोल्स में ताकि मैं भी थोड़ा सा क्यूरियस क्या हुआ आज मुझे नया आइडिया मिल जाएगा आगे प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए एनी क्वेश्चंस ठीक है कैन वी क्लोज
Thank you so much, Mr. Adesh, sir, for such knowledgeable and motivational session. We hope our students were inspired by such great ideas. Now I request Principal Sir to come on the dais and give the token of appreciation to our university.
Now I'd like to request our principal sir to please come on the dais and felicitate our volunteers with the certificate. Pratiksha Babar. Mr. Yash Kamble.
she has that beautiful Rangoli work what we are seeing is because of her. Keep doing such kind of things, right? Always active contributing now actually it's good work.
Mr. Omkar Jangan,
Whatever. Social media is very active.
Mr. Ashraf Kasmani,
I'm attending all sessions are there.
Mr. Sanskar Kohli,
What do you do, Sanskar?
Mr. Zishan Modak,
Active है, मस्ती करते हैं.
Miss Mariam Dalvi,
Lecture भी दस. This is important. Keep good, right?
Mr. Abhinav Krishnan,
For the first time, I am seeing him not attending any other thing and coming into the program. Good, nice. Keep doing it.
Mr. Prathamesh Mhatre, Mr. Siddhesh Mhatre,
Program of answers. So, yes.
Miss Vipasha Srivastav, Miss Krishna Mehta,
I think it's
and lastly I would like to call our IC convener and activity coordinator Dr. Harish Kundekar, sir.
just a second. I was expecting she will call me to say something, but she didn't call me. My own opportunity to talk. Not more than that. See, whatever 3 days festival we have conducted, I hope you have received the message that the objective is very clear. Objective is that we want to really develop a good ecosystem in this institution for innovation. And that's why right from the establishment since 2019, we are diligently working on that. And we are inviting people like him. So he has been very instrumental in mentoring many of the students to start their own startup. So the purpose is that when you are sitting in such kind of programs, our expectations are that you learn something from this, get inspired from this, and actually act upon. So unless and until you don't act, things will not move. So listening to a lecture, talking about it is one part, but that thought process should be there in the back of the mind, and that thought process should lead into doing something. Then only things will happen. We are expecting that in years to come, 1 or 2 years down the line, one startup or two startups should come out of this institution. And that's why the Institution Innovation Council, though it is a requirement or it is an initiative of the Ministry of Education, Government of India, but our objective is very clear that we want some concrete output from this. Now, I know Nilansh and few of them, even Ashram, and many of them have participated in hackathons. They did their level best. It was very initial phase of the IIC activities, but at least they came forward and participated. So the entire crowd, the expectation that you come forward. If you have any damn idea, silly idea, bad idea, whatever you call it as, please make it, discuss with the people. We will, Dr. Harish, we will provide you some mentor from the outside, if not from the inside, and take that idea further. So we have a lot of pool of resource people, resource persons who, if we request them, they come and guide us. But what is required is your active participation. Otherwise, talks will happen, seminar will happen, photograph will happen, but nothing will come. So the expectation, one line expectation is that in years to come, some startup should come out of this evaluation, right? So thank you so much for your time. Please give a big round of applause.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank our respected principal sir and IC president Dr. Rakesh Somani sir to give us the opportunity to host this event. Heartfelt gratitude to our activity coordinator and IC convener Dr. Harish Kundekar sir who initiated, coordinated and made this event come true. I would like to express my gratitude to our esteemed speakers who shared their valuable knowledge with us, Mr. Sagar Chandni, Mr. Sonal Sinha, and Mr. Adesh Suryara. I would like to thank all our non-teaching staff, Mr. Sanket Bhande, Ms. Neeta Patil, Mr. Jitendra Kupe, Mr. Kondiba Kadam, who helped us throughout the event to make it a success. Thank you to all the student volunteers who helped us make this event a successful one. I appreciate all the audience who attended this event. You will all receive the e-certificate via your mail inboxes. Thank you so much.
Volunteers can have a photo.
All the volunteers, please come out to the photograph.
So I can this also, just because one should do the one day, but at the same time. Good job. Come fast.